I'm about 30 days away from my next cruise, and we're headed to the Western Caribbean. Our embarkation is from Galveston, Texas. I've never embarked from Galveston, so I'm really excited to spend a day prior kind of hanging out in Galveston and checking out. They've got a pier. There's some restaurants that I hear are really amazing. So I'm really just very excited. But I usually around this time start to look at what I've got for my cruise, and I might have to make an Amazon order. I might have to run to the store and buy some stuff. I try to have all of this figured out right around the 30-day mark. Amazon doesn't come to me quick. I actually live in Maui, and so it does take some time for things to arrive from Amazon. So I'm really at the point where my back's against the wall. I got to get this stuff ordered. As I was doing this, I was like, I should video this because I'm thinking about my embarkation bag today. So this is the bag that I use. This is one of my all-time favorite luggage companies. It's called July. They are actually in Australia. And this bag actually came as a special gift with my last luggage order. I'll show you their suitcase in a later video, but this carry-on is it's perfect. It's absolutely what I like. You can put it over your roller bag, but my carry-on when I'm flying is very different than my carry-on on embarkation. So I tend to pack and unpack and repack for embarkation. So I'm going to show you what I put in it because I actually travel pretty light, I think, for embarkation because I've got goals in mind on embarkation day. So one of the things that I always make sure I have with me is my bathing suit. It doesn't mean I always go on embarkation day into the pools. I try to get on the boat the earliest that I possibly can. Princess, they have no specific times. So I'm going to show up bright and early and hopefully not have too long of a wait in the terminal. I don't wear my bathing suit underneath my embarkation dress. I find it uncomfortable, but I do bring my bathing suit. I put it into my carry-on bag, and I got this brand new one. I got to take the tag off, but I bring my cover up as well. So this time it's just a nice white cover up. The other thing that I bring and I pack this stuff in is a wet bag. I don't know if you have ever seen this, but these are actually really popular in mom communities. If you have a wet or a dirty diaper, you actually put it in here. I use it for my bathing suits. If I go in the water or if I go in the hot tub and my bathing suit is wet and I still can't get into my stateroom for some reason, I want a place to put my wet bathing suit when I change back into my embarkation clothes. So I bring this with me every cruise. I've got this with me, and it's a little wet bag. So generally, I'll just pack it all in here and use it as a little packing cube, and it is ready to go. Just like that. Easy. So that kind of takes care of the pool. My shoe tip on embarkation day. You could be going on a big ship with a ton of activities. Like they might have zip lining, rock wall climbing, go-karts. You'll want to have your sneakers with you because most of those activities do require closed-toed shoes. And if you're getting on that boat straight away and first thing in the morning, there's not going to be long lines for those activities as long as the boat has them open. I was going to say the captain has them open, but I don't know if he makes the final decision or not. But so you'll want to have some closed-toed shoes. On embarkation day, I'm usually wearing a pair of wedge sandals. So I bring my slippers with me so I can wear them around the pool. And same thing, I'll pack them usually right into my wet bag and have that as I take that into the bathroom with me to get changed. So slippers, and sneakers, depending on what your activity is on that first day. So be thinking about that. Have a plan. You know me. You always have to have a plan. So the other thing I always bring with me is my toiletry bag. This one, I just was on a trip. I went to the Big Island, and I haven't even unpacked it. These are just kind of my spare makeups, brushes. I keep my contacts in here, toothbrush, toothpaste. Well, my toothbrush isn't here, but my toothpaste is. So I keep this with me so that I have it. That also goes in my embarkation bag. I never, ever, ever, ever will I go to the terminal without a snack. And I usually bring my refillable water as well. And you guys know I always bring my Crystal Light flavor water things. But I always have these things with me. You don't know how long you might be in that terminal. I have status with a lot of cruise lines, and there have been times where I've had to wait over an hour, hour and a half to get on the boat. And the last thing you want to do is get hangry. I know I don't, and neither does my husband. So I always bring some cheese crackers or something that I can nibble on if I get hungry. It doesn't mean that if I'm flying through, I'm going to sit there and have a snack and wait to go with another group onto the boat. It just means that this is my fail-safe just in case snack, because you don't want to start your vacation off like that. If you don't get into your stateroom until usually 3 o'clock, I am constantly texting my kids, texting my mom, letting them know where we are. I'm going through my battery pretty quickly on my cell phone. I do put it on battery save mode, but I also have this awesome battery pack. I take it with me. I take it with me even if I go to Costco. But it's pretty amazing. It's got I can usually get about 2 or 3 charges out of this for my cell phone. And I can usually get about 4 hours if I'm plugging in my laptop. So this is really awesome. I got this, it's called My Charge. I think I got this one from Costco, but they have them all over like Amazon. And I got mine from Costco because Amazon doesn't ship things like this to the islands. So I had to get mine local. Moisturizer. I know what you guys are saying. Oh, Amanda, like this is just so silly. You really think we're going to be worried about our skin? It's humid where we're going anyway. I've traveled there, I've flown there, which dehydrates me and my skin. There is no way I am not applying hydrations. I've got serums, I've got lotions about 3 times a day, 4 times a day after I fly. I am constantly putting this stuff on. On the flip side, sunblock. Guys, you're not in your stateroom. Not in there. Bring sunblock. Put it on. Make your husband put it on. Make whoever you're with put it on. Definitely put it on your children. You are out in the sun. Even when you think you're in the shade, UV is still going through a lot of those canopies. Do yourself a favor. Take care of your skin. If you love cruising the way I do, don't not put your sunblock on. I have seen it too many times. Day 1, day 2, people are out loving the sun. Maybe they came from Canada where it's cold and they are just living up in that sun. And then I see them in the main dining room 2 days later and they are red as can be and it looks terribly uncomfortable. Avoid it. Put on sunblock. That's my PSA. All right, I have some medications that I need. You absolutely have to put your medications in your embarkation bag. I'm an asthmatic. I bring my inhaler, and then I also have another medication that I have to keep cold. So what I do is I put ice in this cooler, and then I put my medication in there, and I just close it. And I do it at the hotel beforehand, and I do it when I travel anywhere. I've always got it in here. So, and I keep this. Sometimes some of the staterooms don't have refrigerators in the room. They'll have like coolers, and that doesn't really keep my medication cold enough. So I do often fill this up and put my medication in there. So I've got that. Listen, don't not bring sunglasses. How do you enjoy a cruise and walking around on the Lido deck without sunglasses? you have to have your sunglasses on. Enough said. I mean, it's pretty basic. So we've got that. And then I bring my laptop. So all of this stuff will easily fit in my embarkation day bag. You guys see, it's not a lot. It's 4 hours of things. If you like to read, bring a book. If you think, oh, I'm just going to sit and I need my headphones because I'm going to listen to music, bring your headphones. I don't do that. But if you think you might need that and that sounds enjoyable to you, then bring it. But otherwise, I keep it pretty basic. When I get on the ship, I go to the Lido deck, I see if it's crowded. If not, then I am just kind of hanging out by the pool for a couple hours. I've already booked all my reservations and specialty dining, but I might go and stop by the spa, especially if I got the thermal pass or I want to get the thermal pass. I'll stop by there and just see what the rules are, because every cruise line has different rules for their thermal spas. So I take that time. Oh, and of course your muster station. Most cruise ships, as soon as you get on, you've got to go to the muster station. So, I pack all this in my bag. I'm set to go. I'm light. I'm compact. My husband has his own bag, but quite honestly, I could probably fit his swim trunks and stuff in here. It's just that usually he likes to bring his tennis shoes and things like that because he likes to be pretty active on that first day, which is great. But yeah, a bag like this is really all that you need. So I think that about wraps it up on the stuff you need. Now, I got to tell you what not to bring. Look, common sense. If you can't get through TSA with it, don't take it on the airplane. So there's no weapons, there's no illegal drugs. So even CBDs and things like that, I've got a card for it, I can have it. You can't. Like, cruise ships are cracking down on it. Just don't do it. You don't want to have it confiscated and then have to deal with it. Routers, don't bring them, not allowed. Starlink, don't bring them, not allowed. Make sure if you're bringing on alcohol, that has to be carried on. Most cases, most cruise lines. Find out what the rules are before you do it, and make sure you're compliant. Okay, that's the other thing, is that you want to know that rule inside and out, so there's no question. I traveled with a friend, and we were embarking, and they brought a whole, probably 12 bottles of wine, and I was like, that's not going to work. And they thought, oh no, we'll get it in, it'll be fine. They didn't. So they had to leave it, and it got confiscated, and then they got it back at the end of the cruise when they were disembarking. So it was kind of all for nothing. They flew it all that way, and then it couldn't even get on the ship. So just know the rules. Other than that, cruisers, I think that about wraps it up. That's your embarkation bag. That's what to bring, what not to bring. If you have any questions, anything, if I left anything out, put it in the comments. I want to hear what you guys put in your embarkation bag, because I do it pretty light, but I bet you guys have some really excellent tips for our community. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I love making these videos. I love talking cruising, and I can't wait to see you on my next cruise.